Alright, so right here we have a brand new Cobra 29 LX. Now, there's my old radio. Something happened with that. It no longer works. It turns on, but it don't transmit. Anyway, right here, I adjusted a few things on here. Um, I'll set the phone down so you can get an idea. If you like to work on radios, whatever. Just give me a minute while I put this phone set up. Okay. Wait a minute. Screw it, I'll just hold the camera. Right here is your modulation adjustment. It's VR4. Right there. VR4 is your modulation. Not sure what that one is, but I adjusted that. I don't have a meter, so I've just been going by a little built-in meter on the front here. Now, another thing I adjusted slightly is the meter itself, which is code VR2. Right here, this first adjustment. I adjusted the sensitivity of the meter a little bit. See, watch when I adjust that. See, you can adjust it. Now, from the factory, let me show you where it was adjusted. From the factory, it was adjusted just like this. Hang on. Right. Right there is where it's set from the factory. The little point there on the right-hand side is perfectly flush with the end of the lead on the left there. Now, wait a minute. I want the meter to be slightly less sensitive. That way, if there's like noise level and skip and everything out there, and that way, you know, I don't know. Just a method to my madness. Turned it down too low. Right about there is where I want it. Now, another thing I messed with. See, I noticed this Cobra 29. This right here is your power output. Your RF power adjustment, and there's no thing in there. Now, I know somebody else has been in this radio because I was doing some videos or watching some videos online, and there's a resistor chip, or not resistor, some kind of limiter. It looks more like a diode than anything. But right there, one of the methods they use is to cut that, and it bypasses VR4, your modulation adjustment, which makes it where you have maximum modulation. So, I don't know if they took that out right here. I don't know if they took it out or what they did. But then I started messing around with this. Forget what that's called, but I noticed that has an effect on the output. See, watch where I got it to go now. Before I started messing with this, the meter would probably go up to about... God, this camera sucks. Hang on a minute. I'll try and show you as best as I can. Maybe if I put it this way. There you go. Radio check. Radio check. See, when I first messed with it, it was only going to about around the 3. Now it's a little bit past the 3, so it's not that much of an improvement, but it's better than what it was. Now, somebody's already tuned this radio, but I like to tune my own stuff. The way I see it, there's always room for improvement. Now, one thing I was thinking about doing is taking this one out. Right now I have this screwed in all the way, right there. One thing I was going to try that I didn't try is take this out and put it in there. So all it really is a magnet. Just want to make sure I don't drop that inside of here. So I'm going to unplug that real quick. Unplug that and pull this out, whatever. All it is a magnet, but I don't want that falling in there and shorting anything out like what happened in my last radio. I think it's a magnet, right? I don't know. I looked for one of these in that radio and it don't have it. It has them, but they're smaller. So one thing I'm going to do right now is I'm going to screw that in here and see what happens. Wait a minute. There's a bunch of wax on there. See, they put wax there. Where is it at? Right there. Or is that the side? Oh, I was screwing it in the wrong way. Anyway, yeah. See how I unplugged the radio? I ain't got to worry about the screwdriver touching something that might cause a problem. Now look, I'm going to screw that in. Put it to about there. I'm curious. Very curious to see what it does. All right. Radio check. Radio check. Check, check. Alright. So we lost a little bit of power, it seems like. Now, what if I screw that in farther? Let me try all the way down and see what happens. Okay. Ooh. Radio check. Hang on a minute. Radio check. Seems like we're having a little bit better results. Turn up modulation louder. Radio check. Check, check. 1, 2. Radio check. Radio check. Now it seems like it's getting a little bit more power than what it was, but I don't like turning things all the way. So let's back it off a couple turns. See now. Radio check. Radio check, check, check. Okay. Alright, now I'm curious what happens if we turn it about halfway. About right there. Radio check. Alright, so we're a little bit lower than what we were. So actually, I think the radio works slightly better with that magnet thing on this side rather than that side. I don't know why this side didn't have one of them. All the other radios have those adjustments. Maybe somebody lost it or something. I know somebody was in this radio before me. Another thing is the one back there doesn't have one either. Now, another chip I messed with, or there's an adjustment right there by the heatsink. Somebody had told me what that is on the internet. I forget exactly what it is. Some kind of RF amp. Something. I don't know. Anyway, I adjusted that. I got to power it all the way down, and then I got it to go where it was, and then it... Can't say it went off frequency. I don't know. I hope it's not off frequency. No matter what, I can't seem to get a radio check, though. I got my antenna on the roof. So let me show you a little bit here. Can I get a radio check? See, it keeps re-amplifying. Radio check. Radio check. Anybody got a radio check? Radio check. I don't know. I don't know what's happening. I know it's putting out. And the transistor gets warm faster now. If I had a way to turn this one on, I could go by the meter on here and adjust all these things and get an idea of what's really going on here. Maybe I should try a different channel. Everybody on the radio around here is like from way out in the distance, though. Picking up lots of skip. But anyway, yeah, that's that. It's a lousy video, I know. This camera, it's a brand new phone, but the camera just completely sucks. It is what it is. I tried, you know what I mean? If you want to work on your radio or whatever, be cautious. I use metal screwdrivers. They say you shouldn't, but, you know, there's a lot of things that we shouldn't do, like smoke cigarettes and drink beer. Anyway, I won't get into all that. If you want to work on your radio, just, you know, if, you know, I mess with things. I don't know what they do. I mess with them anyway. I mean, that's how you learn things, by adjusting and you know, you have to find out. That's how you learn. You try things you don't know. So, you know, I don't blame you for adjusting things, but just try and mark your adjustments, which I didn't even do. I mark my adjustments, but just remember how many turns. That's what I did. I remembered how many turns that I turned the stuff before I adjusted them. So if I needed to go back to the way I was, you know, I could always tune it back to the way it was. You know, this radio right here is a good example of that. I mean, half this radio is literally, the internal stuff is built from trash. TVs, computers, you know, like I took some, I didn't put that many microchips in here. I just like pulled out some of the originals and, you know, I experimented basically. I took bigger microchips and different ones and put them in there. I didn't even know what half of them were. I just like, all right, well, why don't I take this out and put that in there? And, you know, it is what it is now. Watch this. Hang on a minute. Shit. See, I'm hearing some kind of scratching. Sure enough, now it ain't doing it. Anyway, I'm trying to get this to play. This is a good program, by the way, FX Music Player. Hear that static? I don't know, it's not doing it. I'll show you a good song.